Welcome back to another episode of Peak Performers Podcast. I'm your host, Thor Conklin. Today, we're going to talk about financial struggle and how to eliminate it. Stay tuned.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. This is an area that I'm so passionate about. I see so often people struggling financially, and it's not necessary. And so many make the mistake of, if I just got a raise, if I just made more money, that would make it all work, it would all be better, and I would be financially free. Well, unfortunately, many times that is not the case. Especially if you're making a decent wage now, it's not about making more, it's about figuring out a system in order to keep more. First and foremost, you must have a budget. If you don't have a personal budget, you don't know how much is coming in, you don't know how much is going out and what it's going out for, forget it. You've got to have a budget, or what I like to call a spending plan, because I want you to spend 100%, not 98, not 103, 100% of everything that you make. You're like, whoa, what? Play that back again. I didn't hear that correctly. No, I want you to spend 100% of what you make. And I'll explain that in a moment. So, the spending plan, okay? Because people don't like budgets, right? But people like to spend. So, spending plan. I want you to figure out all of this income that you have coming in and all the things you're currently spending money on and where the money's going. You now have to come up with a balanced spending plan. How much is coming in? How much is going out? Where is it going out? And it's got to equal 100%. It's got to be zeroed out. If you're taking in 100,000, you've got to spend 100,000. But one of the categories I want you to add in now is investments, savings, okay? I want you to spend the money to buy things that are going to pay dividends in the future. I want you to spend money on stocks, bonds, mutual funds, just putting it into a savings account. It doesn't matter. I want you to move that money out of your pockets into another account that you're not dipping into to pay for the electric bill. Now, many of you are probably sitting there going, Thor, I don't make enough money. I can't figure out how to save. I need some help. Well, I'm here to help you. I personally save 25% of every dollar that I make. The way I taught myself to do this is really simple. Month 1, next month, I want you to set up a savings account, which will then be used for some sort of investment, something that you will not go back into. This is not an account where you're going to save up and buy a car. This is your retirement. This is your nest egg. This is your cash cow engine that you're creating that will pay dividends long into the future. Next month, I want you to take 1% of what you earn and put it into this account. That's easy, right? 1%. You can find 1%. So as you're doing your spending plan, if you didn't have any money saved before, I want you to carve out 1% that you're going to move into this savings account, investment account. The next month, 2%. The next month, 3%. You do this over a course of just over 2 years, and you're going to get to 25%. It is really, really easy. It is painless. Now, when you start getting up into the bigger numbers, when you start getting up into the double digits, up into the 20s, it's a significant change that will absolutely turn around your financial picture. But you've got to commit to doing it. First, you've got to balance the budget. You've got to come up with a spending plan where you're not spending more than what you're making. Pretty simple. But so many people do it. They do it on credit. You've got to get real with yourself. You cannot spend more than you make. Well, you can, but you just go in debt. We don't want that. You've got to stop the bleeding. Then, what's left over goes into your investment account. I just run this on a simple spreadsheet. What's come in? The categories, you've got mortgage, you've got car, you've got education, you've got food, you've got clothing, you've got eating out. You've got all these different categories that you run down the spreadsheet. how much am I allocating each month for each of those categories? And then if I allocated $100 to go out to eat this month and I spent $120, I've overspent, right? So I've got to figure out somewhere else that money's coming from. Well, maybe it's coming from my clothes or my entertainment category. It's got to come from somewhere. The spending plan always has to balance. Making more money is not going to get you there. You must have a discipline and the system in order to create financial abundance. I created a very simple spreadsheet for this. If you would like a copy of that, just simply drop me an email at thor@thorconklin.com, and somebody on our team will get you out a copy of the spreadsheet. Thank you so much for listening. If you own a business and you're struggling with some issue, you just can't figure out how to resolve it, if you drop me a 50-word or less email describing what the issue is, I'll send back to you a 4-step process that will absolutely eliminate the issue or, at the very least, reduce it significantly. I hate seeing people struggle in their business or any part of their life, and if I can do something to change that, I want to. Have an amazing week, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here on the Peak Performers Podcast. Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.